have full lane control, they're going to be poking away at you, and that can make it really difficult for Tristana, who notoriously can kind of have difficulty farming under turret because the explosive shot can make that really a little bit tricky.
Alrighty, everybody, it's game number 2. Golden Guardians looking to strike back. JDG looking to move to match point. The LPL's #1 seed, the super team, 13-3 in the regular split. Absolutely terrifying for everybody they go up against. And they are once again looking fierce in this one.
It's a case, though, for JDG of trying to see if they can continue showing up on the international stage, because it seems like every time we've gotten them to Worlds, it's been a little bit of a disappointment, right? They got to quarterfinals in 2020, were supposed to beat Sunin, end up losing to Sunin, who then go on to go right the way to the finals, who end up dropping out. Then last year at Worlds as well, oh, this was supposed to be the team that were supposed to go to the finals, we're supposed to see them there, and then they end up dropping out to T1 in the semis as well. This is a team that has performed relatively well when it comes to the international stage, but never up to expectations. And again, it feels like there's such high expectations on JDG to be that team that goes the distance, threatens to win the entire tournament, and at least game 1 was a decent look for them.
And immediately with these trades in mid lane, we talk about Gory playing things like the Lissandra, about how you like having that point-and-click lockdown of something like that against these targets like the LeBlanc, like the Zeri. For Golden Guardians, having those sort of guaranteed tools eliminates some of that need to step up, hit the skill. You can't really miss the skill if it's Lissandra R, so it lowers that burden of execution against these guys who are so individually talented on JDG.
Yeah, absolutely, and Gory already, having some good early trades here. Procs the passive there already for Knight, who has been trying to just constantly proc that electrocute, but Airy obviously, very strong laning rune, connects another Q there, and I just gotta be careful about that. You generally want to play more to the side of the wave in these kind of matchups against Lissandra. Generally people do sit to the side so Lissandra can't Q both the minions and you ever.
Right.
But Knight so far is happy to just kind of try to backstep them. Just hasn't been able to execute on it every time.
Goes amount of control here for Gory. I thought he'd actually try and go for the deeper ward placement there, but just trying to make sure that he'll keep himself safe so he can keep pushing forward. Good trade there from Knight, though, to get back a lot of that damage that was lost immediately.
And this is what I kind of expect to see here with these two, just trading back and forth, seeing what they might be able to find. Of course, both champions also having the tools necessary to disengage if they get ganked. River is hanging around here a little bit, seeing if maybe they could find some opportunity on Knight, but Knight is not just going to jump right back in already. River walks behind Gory to get towards his top side of the jungle. As you can see, Licorice pushing forward versus 369's Gnar here in the top lane. Only one play on that Gnar during spring from 369. So not one of the go-to champions, at least here in this split. Licorice on that Cassante, like we already touched on a little bit, handful of those games, but again, not even as many as his own mid laner.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting to see what 369 can do as this game goes on, though, because it feels like you have so many tools to try and stop him from getting onto the backline and onto Stixxay. Might do better lane with Gory, though.
Snap away from the chains.
But yeah, as he starts to get into the later portion of the game, I just feel like this Gnar isn't going to have too much success in these team fights. So I think it'll again be a case of, can JDG get this lead that they can start to snowball and then try and catch out Golden Guardians? Because the go buttons on Golden Guardians are insane.
Trade of flashes there in the mid lane as Knight looks for that E flash, trying to connect that chain. If he was able to, likely could have been a solo kill there, as I think his electrocute was up and ready once again. But Gory now just going to have to try to clear out this wave, look for a quick reset. Is very low and out of mana.
Yeah, they just had Kanavi walk through, help get that last couple of minions shoved up, make sure they could push Gory in under the turret, allowed Kanavi to go into the bot side River and just continue looking around for any sort of opportunities he might find as 369 hits Mega Gnar and then backs up away from Licorice. River's not going to find a gank here, just resets instead.
You can see on that bottom side, farm somewhat even, but there is going to be that full wave pretty much that is going to be caught here by missing. And now things get really awkward because Ruler, if you stay around to actually push this in, Ruler has already got his buy. So they need to get back to base ASAP because that is their window, was right now to actually be resetting. The cannons is already gone. So now if you reset, it's going to be, again, the same situation as last game where they're going to lose a full wave to the tower because of that disruption, because missing actually staying around and holding the wave. Meant that they were just not really able to do it. And Huhi now just going to try to do the same himself. We'll see if Ruler missing leave from lane, because then Huhi can try to pull the wave, but I don't think it's going to happen.
And plays like this, optimizations like this, are why Ruler is first in gold difference, CS difference at 15 in his role. This guy has such incredible stats in laning. First in everything at 15. Second place in CSD and gold difference, by the way, is Gala, and he's got half as much as Ruler does in the LPL.
And it's so funny to see that this is kind of the evolution that we see from Ruler and Missing, because Missing, back when he used to play on WE, separated from Elk, because Elk was like, I want to play for lane. I want to do just like bash everyone I go up against. And Missing was like, no, I want to roam. I want to be like more supportive of the rest of the team. And now he's with Ruler. He's like, no, I'm going to bash you in lane. I'm going to mess up everyone I go up against.
Well, so when you get Ruler on your team, you do what Ruler wants.
Yeah, a world champ gets what he wants, you know?
Just the Ruler effect, man. And already they've opened up a massive lead. And this was really my concern is, clearly who he wants to go for more of these picks that are more about engage, more about roaming, not necessarily for lane. But when you're drafting a losing lane against Ruler and Missing, you're going to get pounded. And that is what has happened in back-to-back games here already. Ruler again, taking the tempo, getting a quick reset, but he does it as that cannon comes in crashing, so he doesn't even lose the cannon. He's already back here, with that Noon Quiver purchased up, so has a significantly better buy than what we see over on the Golden Guardian side, which means there's no threat of that all-in. And again, anytime there's no threat of the all-in here, the Rel has no presence in lane whatsoever. The Rel is not going to add anything close to what the Lulu does, and that's what really can make these 2v2s very, very difficult.
And you mentioned back during the draft, Golden Guardians team comp is pretty one-dimensional. So it could be very problematic if they fall behind here and can't just press those go buttons and go in. Kanavi gets chunked a little bit, but they aren't able to follow it up with anything else. So now JDG with a 3-man squad just gonna rotate those 3 players down into the jungle of the Golden Guardians. The mid lane wave is already crashing. They know Gory has to answer that. So it gives Knight, Kanavi, and Missing a chance to try to steal more resources away. The red buff has respawned here for that second spawn. And yes, Huhi, Gory, and River are making their way over now. But Kanavi and Missing already have it most of the way done. Kanavi secures it, and he got the level 6 off of that. Could make a huge difference if a fight breaks out here, but JDG are just wanting to walk away from this one. Stixxay jumps in, goes after Missing, and now you'll see the Golden Guardians continue trying to follow this up. Huhi's taking so much damage there from Ruler, and Golden Guardians don't get a thing. Oh, all out. Licorice flashing in! Licorice just solo killed 369!
Licorice with the solo kill at 369. The dive on the bot side, though!
Ruler goes in. He's looking for the stun, and they're gonna blow Ruler up! Stixxay jumps forward, but Missing jumps away. River's gonna keep the chase alive as Kanavi and Missing both try to walk it off. Kanavi goes back in, attract and repel, and Wukong's going to hell! Golden Guardians 3-0!
Let's go! Golden Guardians winning on both sides of the map, and Licorice continues his amazing MSI run. He solo killed Bin. He is now solo killed 369. Who is this guy?
I mean, the last time this happened, he went 7-0 on Cassante. So Licorice putting the hurt down into 369. And great play there. The ultimate to follow up the hop there as well. Immediately flashing forward to get the kill. And then this just goes absolutely disastrously for JDG in the bot lane. River here to cover the dive. Ruler ends up tanking as soon as Missing drops aggro. And Golden Guardians are able to immediately get Stixxay with the hop out thanks to the reset.
Yeah, and just great play there from Stixxay. Flashes to the side away from Kanavi there, then has the hop in onto Missing, which forces him back. Kanavi tries to look for the re-engage, but Huhi answers it perfectly, immediately locking him up, getting that kill onto Stixxay. And Golden Guardians in with another strong early game here. We'll see if they can actually manage to hold on to this advantage, if they can transition this better than they did last time. Because here goes Licorice again. He's trying to keep him away from the wall.
Licorice.
Ruler doesn't have his E. I guess he must have interrupted the E with a Q. We didn't see that.
Ruler walks away, he survives, but he's under half HP, just gonna channel a recall now. Licorice on this Cassante is so scary, man.
I'm scared for this Rift Guard on the top side as well. River managed to pick that up. You already have Stixxay there, so we're just saying, hey, look, bot lane going in favor of Ruler. Well, Stixxay just got the kill and the assist. You can now immediately move top side with this Herald as well and start to create pressure, but looks like JDG, having read it a little bit with Kanavi and Missing, now also Knight starting to roam, but Gory?
Gory and Knight trading a couple skills back and forth. Yeah, Gory stepping away from that chain there, making sure he doesn't get stuck in this fight any longer than he wants to be. Now just gonna have to fall back a little bit as Missing shows up. He's gonna help Knight try to shove this forward. But Gory on the Lissandra, the wave clear is so easy on this champion. You can just spam the wave down with the Qs and everything's taken care of.
Yeah, absolutely. The mana problems can be there sometimes for the Lissandra, but just constantly pushing out, using that mana bar to get the shove, then going back to base, looking for those quick and constant resets here. and we'll see what presence he can have throughout these next couple minutes. Neither team has gone towards these early dragons in this one. Is that mountain dragon still sitting there? Huhi laying in wait, but Ruler is aware of where he could be, and 6A just going to try to push in this wave as River starts up the dragon. So Golden Guardians looking for this first dragon here.
Pretty late first Drake, 10.5 minutes into the game. Remember, they got the first Drake in game number 1 around the 8-minute mark instead, so slightly faster. But look, JDG does not seem interested in contesting it, so the Golden Guardians can pick this one up for free, get a little bit of a buffer to those defensive stats, make themselves a little bit harder to kill here against the burst power on JDG's comp.
And it's really good timing here as well from Golden Guardians. Like, there's no top side that Kanavi can try and answer with. Like, that's already been taken. There's no pressure on the top side because Licorice has already gotten the solo kill and there's an Iceborne Gauntlet already. So Golden Guardians doing a really good job of controlling the map state right now.
Absolutely, and I mean, Licorice, had that amazing play on top side. He has an advantage, but importantly, Stixay has been able to kind of even out this gold deficit on the bot side completely. He's actually up very slightly in gold now, and we look back to even like 5 minutes ago, he was down 15 CS, but the fact that they actually were able to get that kill on Ruler, he picks up the farm, 6A gets a kill, things have evened out now, and Golden Guardians are in with a shot in this one.
So let's talk a little bit about that, because Golden Guardians in the LCS, they're a team that does good at very early leads. I'm talking gold difference at 8 minutes. But once we get to the point where turret plates fall, 2.5 minutes from now here in this game, that's when the Golden Guardians will start having trouble converting the early leads further into something they can build on in mid-game. So if they want to have a chance against JDG, that momentum has got to keep going. I got to see gas in the tank and see these guys continue moving this ball forward.
Well, I think that's why they drafted the composition that they have, right? Because it has so many clear go buttons, it has such clear win conditions. You have Vi ulti, you have Lissandra engage, you have Rel engage, you have Cassante follow up. There's so many ways for them to go in, and that is what they're going to try to use to slingshot into a bigger advantage in the mid game.
And they're going to try and use it in this mid lane at the moment. River hovering here, hasn't been spotted. Can Gory get the lock up?
Goes forward with the claw, locks him down, River ready for the follow-up, but they did not chain the CC perfectly, so Knight is able to go back underneath the turret, and River will be drowned as they try to make the play. Gory goes down second, and JDG, you give them an inch, they take a mile. 2 kills for nothing.
Golden Guardians have great go buttons, but there's no stop button. The second they go underneath the tower, River is completely lost. And great run from Missing there to cover Knight on that, and now this is where JDG find their comfort, get the invade, steal away some of the buffs, and get the vision down that lets them play aggressive.
Oh, Stixay.
Stixay wants Ruler here. He engages with the rocket jump. Ruler running away back to Missing. Stixay did not want to go over there knowing that the Lulu was going to be nearby. Golden Guardians won't manage to get themselves any sort of a comeback kill. But man, that mid lane play was so rough. It's the problem with Vi. When you're going to ult a target, if they flash away, if they dash away, whatever, you have to go with them. And if everything's not lined up perfectly with that CC chain, you could tell what they wanted to do, and that's why you could see exactly why it didn't work.
I mean, it just felt like an overforce to me. It's one of those situations where they really wanted to make a play happen around mid lane. They had their ultis available. But when you're having to flash in to even get the max range ult there from Gory, you're never going to be able to follow up quickly enough, with your W. He's already back by that tower. So as soon as there's any coverage from JDG, the play just isn't going to work, and that's not the one you really want to be looking for.
And I like this idea, if you push Knight back, crash the wave, and then you unlock Gory to, say, roam to the bot side, maybe look for the play. But as you say, like, there's no follow-up lockdown, so Knight doesn't even have to burn the flash in this, just W underneath the tower and is easily able to get away. And then there's the follow-up there, as you said, with Missing and Kanavi just being in the right place at the right time.
And I mean, he's already on Merc Treads, and he also has unflinching as well. So he has a lot of tenacity here. You have to be perfect on those CC chains. You know he's going to have double distort. You know he has flash available. So it's really a risky play to go for. Not the target I would have liked to see them look at.
Right.
But it is the one that they went for. It is what they're going to have to pay the price for. The gold, though, still even. Licorice pushing on this top side is 369 is just going to use the ult for a trade.
And that's the thing, though. It is a bit of a fumble, but I still feel like Golden Guardians have options here. It does suck that Gory's flash is down, but you still got decent engage, and with Rift Herald up in 30 seconds, they can look to play towards that advantage of the top side, try and take that. I think you're probably willing to give one dragon here, just on the bot side against JDG, because I think opening up the map and controlling vision is so much more important for Golden Guardians here, and that's why I think the Rift Herald should be the priority here.
And it's one of those things that I touched on very lightly in game number 1. Golden Guardians is not a super Drake-focused team. They're not known for just constantly running over the game with their incredible Drake tempo or anything like that. So it's not like they're altering a game plan that they would have otherwise had to not have a Drake stacking win condition. But one thing that we do have to watch, like you're saying, that Rift Herald. They cannot allow JDG to just start opening up this game now that we're into the point of the match where Golden Guardians typically tends to struggle to convert those leads.
And notice how they said Licorice bot. He has TP, Knight does not. So this would be a 5v4 on top side, if Licorice were to join. So this should be Golden Guardians Herald pretty cleanly. I think it's a nice setup. They're not even gonna have to overcommit. They can just send their bot lane towards mid. Licorice goes bot to cover. Knight is going to try to chunk him down to dissuade any potential TP, but there's not going to be any chance of a challenge here for JDG. And they may even be able to use this Herald for a little bit of tempo on top side and potentially still challenge.
I think that's your best bet, and looks like they agree, right? River immediately throws that down, try to create pressure in the top end. As you know, JDG are giving resources towards this dragon on the bot side. So, I mean, there's not the cover up here. They could go for a second tower and make a huge trade here.
They'll at least get 2 charges for sure, because you know that they're going to try to go for the dragon, as you say, for the counterplay. So this is going to charge in. River's fancying himself a dive potentially here. He has the ulti available. Do they go for a look? They are!
They're going in for it. They follow it up with the Lissandra ulti. They got Huhi right there as well. Magnet Storm pulls in missing, and 369 gets a punch upside the jaw. Tier 2 turret falls, and the Golden Guardians are making plays. Bottom lane, Licorice is into a 1v1 with Knight, but it's not going anywhere anytime soon. Kanavi is disengaged by Stixxay, who rocket jumps back to safety. Huhi's ready to turn it around. He crashes down. Kanavi is down. They're gonna find more. Stixxay gets ruler and missing. Has to run. The Golden Guardians answer the challenge.
Golden Guardians are going off against JDG this game. 6-2 in kills, an over 2,000 gold lead here. Knight gonna try to get something back on the bottom side, but there's nothing here to take, as Licorice is just a brick wall. Golden Guardians are fighting incredibly well.
And it's the fact that JDG just completely disrespect the fact Golden Guardians have control of the top side. They get Rift Herald, immediately push it down, and don't look at the fact that they drop mid lane. So Stixxay immediately pushes that in, comes to join top, and the engages again from Huhi and the rest of the team were on point.
Exactly, they had eyes on everyone except missing, so they know only that support can come there. There's no Kanavi to actually bail him out, so they fully commit to it. Huhi full sends it to get that kill, and in comes Kanavi, but the Buster Shot is there immediately for the disengage. Stixxay pops the ghost, jumps back, and look at the turn from Huhi, catching both Kanavi and Ruler. Stixxay jumps forward, then kites back to not give any opportunity for Ruler to get a trade kill there. That was beautifully done, and Huhi has been so on point.
Look at him, man!
Pumped, baby!
He's loving this! Rel is so slow when she crashes down, but he flashes back. He snaps the attract and repel, and then follows it up with his own CC beautifully. Rel is not a champion that you play against a lot in League of Legends, and you can be caught off guard because of that. Golden Guardians now, they have a 2,000 gold lead 18 minutes into the game. There are no dragons to currently fight for. Baron is not alive for another 2 minutes. What do we need to see from this team to continue going forward?
They need to keep playing for objectives, keep going for these setups. They have great pick and turn, so set up around these objectives, control vision, and if someone from JDG is trying to clear that out, you can turn and engage.
And vision is going to be the big one for me, especially when you look towards, Knight on LeBlanc. If he can actually get access onto Stixxay and make these fights uncomfortable, it's not going to be a good time for Golden Guardians. So making sure you're controlling your flanks, getting the wards down, and not giving Knight these opportunities to find ways onto the backline is going to be so crucial.
And this is why I also think it's so important that Licorice is actually winning the 1v1, because 369 is really one of the only kind of tanky members who could help to clear out vision, right? But if he's not able to be there with the squad, things get very difficult, as Licorice likely going to have to flash unless he wants to all out over the wall. Okay.
And it looks like that's what he's going to get. Kanavi not wanting anything to do with a isolated Cassante 1v1, so he'll just go right back over the wall there. Nice use of the ulti there from Licorice to make sure he didn't have to spend the summoner spell.
JDG commit a huge amount to the top side though, which just gives bot terror. You get a bit of control for Stixxay in the mid lane as well, so JDG kind of scrambling here to see if they can find picks against Golden Guardians, but it's not happening.
It's kind of the inverse of last game, right?
Yeah.
Where it is JDG who are feeling the pressure. They're grouping up to look for these picks, which opens up opportunities to play sides, and that's where Golden Guardians are extending the gold advantage. Now the mid tier 1 is basically guaranteed theirs. Knight trying to get a bit of a poke and a prod here, but Tristana is going to crush through these towers, so Golden Guardians playing the map really well, extending the gold lead is nearly 4,000 at this point, and we'll see where they want to go next. Are they going to try to set up for this next dragon here, which would be a Cloud Soul they'd be working towards?
Yeah, and I think that makes sense, especially even just with timers, right? A minute now, you push outside lanes, immediately reset. You can continue to just overload this bot side with vision. You've already got decent foundation for that as well, as Corey would just take a little bit of poke from Knight, but this is really good stuff from Golden Guardians, and it is actually going to cause issues for JDG. We said already 369, 0-2, none of the bestest spots, although as I say that.
Well, Licorice can get away from it. This Cassante has been scary. Yes, he got the one solo kill. He hasn't gotten any really more PvP action since then, but his threat in the side lanes, the fact that he's unafraid to go 1v1 against Knight and keep him occupied, the fact that he knows he can go in the enemy jungle and escape from a collapse like he did, he knows his limits, and now Missing's gonna get chased down by River. Beautiful buffering, but now the TP's coming in here for the follow-up. Missing gets away thanks to the wild growth, and the Golden Guardians may have gone too far. They're finding the damage, they're finding the jungler, and they found the first kill. Now they gotta be careful because Corey's already had to self-ult. The Golden Guardians need to get their mid laner out, but they won't be able to do it. Now they go all out, and they're looking for the kills now. They'll turn it around. They found Ruler. They're gonna go after more. They cannot survive for JDG, and Golden Guardians just killed everybody!
You beautiful bastards, you're doing it! Golden Guardians taking down JDG. Looking for the dragon here. Gonna be able to try to take that as well and securing themselves a massive advantage as the team is of one mind. They're gonna go for the fight. River and Huhi going for the early engage. The TP's coming in immediately. And Golden Guardians just full send it.
I got a little bit nervous towards the back of this because Rudder's free hitting, but Stixay in such a good position, hops over the wall. He's getting a ton of damage off, and Knight ends up trying to commit on towards Huhi there. So Stixay still at half HP, happy to walk forward. Corey buys a ton of space from Ruder on the back line. And then again, these engages from Huhi have been so spectacular. Watch it, the three-man crouch down, it forces the flash. Knight has to go back, and it's the clean-up proof from there.
Licorice as well, playing that so well. You know, 60 was already very low. Knight wanted to push forward for the kill, but Licorice interrupts him with the Q3, then all-outs, pulling him in over the wall. Stixay's getting free hits on him, then he has to snap back into the Huhi engage, essentially. Just played beautifully by both of those members.
Huhi is the MVP of Golden Guardians here in this game too. His decision-making, his patience, his engages have defined these fights. These fights that when you look at them, you're scared thinking it's JDG team fighting. They look like they are about to smash this, and then no. Huhi's ready, the Rel is ready. Golden Guardians now with a 4,000 gold lead.
And while Golden Guardians are playing a beautiful game here, there's still a lot of work to be done before you can close this one out. You know, JDG are those immaculate team fighters. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile. If you mis-execute in one of these fights, they are going to blow you up. They are going to take down the Baron, and all of a sudden the shoe is going to be on the other foot. So Golden Guardians need to maintain this clean play, and they're going to start up this Baron here. Huhi dismounted, so he could potentially look for a W flash turn.
369 as well just went Mega Gnar, so even with the TP in, he'll be Mini Gnar for this. This is actually a great call from Golden Guardians at the timing.
Golden Guardians do not want to risk a 50-50. They don't want to take this any lower. They just wanted to get JDG's attention and see if they could force anything out.
Yeah, they watched the Mad series, they watched the C9 series. Flipping Barons has not gone well for the LCS or the LECs. They say, nope, don't do it.
The devil on the shoulder was shut up there for a second. But this is where I think, again, as you say, I think they did get a little bit unfortunate the fact that it's Cloud Dragons. Like, if you'd actually managed to get like even more Mountain Dragons or Infernal or something, yeah, it would have been fantastic. But now Golden Guardians, at least getting control over the side lanes, making sure that they're in a decent spot where, as long as you can keep pushing vision or keep pushing the waves in on top side, start to create vision on the jungle in the top lane, you can just hop back and forth between top and mid and create so many issues for JDG.
JDG bringing 3 players up into this top side here as Kanavi and Missing try to clear out some of the vision placed down by the Golden Guardians in this top side of the map around this Baron pit. They want to make sure that at least Golden Guardians have to clear out some JDG wards before they can start this up again. You can see that the 2 top laners are on the other side of the map right now. Missing has been found. Wild Growth to disengage. The engage there from Huhi. Golden Guardians pouring the damage into the JDG support, and Lulu is dead.
Oh,
Stixay goes in. Stixay's ready to follow him, but now he's killed. A beautiful crushing blow from from Kanavi, and Golden Guardians have overplayed their hand. Ruler and Kanavi work together and shut down the Tristana.
Kanavi was so sneaky, waits and baits out. Missing says, look, you're going to die for a good cause, but they get the turnaround, the kill onto Stixxay, and JDG now can find some much needed gold back.
Yeah, and that's a massive shutdown there onto Stixxay, who was trying to go for a big play of his own. Looked like he wanted to buster shot Kanavi into the pit, then jump in and actually try to take him out. But extra damage came in over the wall as that empowered zap hit from Ruler. I don't know if Knight actually got involved in that as well at all. But there was just so much extra damage coming in on Stixxay that he was not really ready for. No one else from Golden Guardians was in the pit for him. They were looking for that big play, and you have to respect it, because if you get that kill on Kanavi there, all of a sudden the Baron is yours, and that could be the game-securing play. But at the end of the day, it is just this one kill, and we have to watch again. You know, Kanavi coming in here from the side, Stixxay's coming up, he's laying in wait, waiting for that AD, jumps in right on him. Stixxay goes into the pit here, trying to get on him. The explosive shot, unfortunately, was on the clone, and Ruler got a lot of damage in over the wall there. So, excuse me, it wasn't a buster shot, you know, on him over into that pit. He just cloned in there. Well played by Kanavi, Ruler assisting, and they're able to kill off Stixxay and stave off what could have been a Baron take.
Well, JDG has caught up about 1,000 gold of the lead that Golden Guardians had, but now Golden Guardians have to make sure they're not giving away any more situations like that. 30 seconds till our next Drake spawns.
A great situation for Golden Guardians, though, is that Ruler has no flash. Gory does. The amount of follow-up you can get on towards this area is going to be so incredibly strong. Stixxay doesn't have his own, but I think the fact you have that jump is going to make things a little bit easier. But JDG having the push on waves, having control over this top side, it's going to make things a little uncomfortable for Golden Guardians for the moment.
Still going to have to be aware of the fact that Cleanse is available and he has that Lulu behind him, so you still have to play with respect. Dude, if Ruler can play close to a wall, even missing that flat, you can always Cleanse, jump over the wall, get out of there, no problem. And JDG are maintaining vision control around this Baron. They did see them go into the pit, so now they're just going to be starting it up. Golden Guardians blue triggered it immediately. They are aware it's happening. I can't imagine JDG is going to commit to this, but we'll see. It looks like they may want to try to go for it because Stixxay has no sums.
Knight may have been caught here over the wall. A lot of damage, but not enough to kill him. Golden Guardians wanted the enemy mid laner, but now they got to be careful because River's going to be killed instead. JDG coming back in with a shutdown, already finding the enemy jungler, who he's in the middle of everybody, and he's got no way home. JDG! It don't matter if they're behind. They're just too damn good.
The inch was given and the mile has been taken. JDG now over towards the Baron, even getting the TP from Knight now to cover this bot lane push that they thought might come through from Stixxay, but I might even go for Dragon here. You see the pings on towards
Knight's
Knight.
coming though, and he has no health. Stixxay's got to run.
Yeah, look at the Dragon. It's immediately jumps away, so Stixxay not in the best spots. Licorice now just trying to see if he can hunt out Knight, but big win for JDG.
Yeah, absolutely. And just like that, the game is way back into JDG's favor, and Golden Guardians are significantly on the back foot. You know, they thought they had this catch on a Knight, but again, unless your entire team is there to instantly burst him down, he has so much tenacity. The lockdown is not going to last long enough, and Stixxay was pretty far away, so he actually had to use a rocket jump to even get in range, and then all of a sudden, he's put in this really awkward spot. You know, they feel like they have a catch, they get the Q, they get the ulti, but the ulti is overlapped with the Lissandra ulti. Knight gets the Lulu ult, just pulls back, and then look at where Stixxay is. He's in this really awkward spot, and he has no sums. He already used that rocket jump, so he has to get a reshot with that explosive shot, and then he's completely out of the fight.
Also the fact that he was just so late to the party, like that would have been enough lockdown for you to finish off Knight, but not having the rel there made things a little bit difficult. And JDG setting up, they don't spot Huhi, and even you can see Licorice there just trying to get a little before, but Gory, of course, thrown away.
369's going after him, but they cannot stick to Lissandra enough. He's got to be the playmaker here. He's got to make the difference. Gory may just get popped before he can do anything. Knight's looking for him as the Dragon is claimed by JDG. Knight almost has enough damage to take Gory out of the picture, and he gets the kill. Now Kanavi's trying to buy enough time for the rest of JDG to kill off Stixxay. Ruler's got a killing spree. River's got a ticket into the dirt, and it's a double kill back over to Zeri. JDG has had enough, and they will ace the Golden Guardian.
The team fighting is unmatched from JDG. Knight finding out Gory, taking him out no problem. Then Kanavi has been a nightmare for Stixxay in these fights, constantly getting in on top of him, getting him chunked low, and then Ruler can just fly in to finish him off.
And that was the thing, Licorice was a good call to try and take 369 out of the fight. He's about to go Mega Gnar, but it meant there was no front line. It meant there was no one there to stop Ruler from tearing people to shreds, and JDG, just like that, a 5,000 gold lead for them, and they'll continue pushing in.
And that's the thing about JDG, man. Even when they get behind, They're so good at dragging out the game. They're so good at buying the maximum amount of time to get back in. Knight with the isolated kill, then the rest of the fight went Ruler's way.
Yeah, I mean, they do a good job of actually turning on Ruler as soon as he goes in. They're trying to land all the CC on him. They get him very low, but 6A was already chunked at 20-30% HP, it felt like, before that CC comes in, because he had been chunked down there by Kanavi, and then Ruler comes in, absolutely lights them up. You can see the frustration on their faces. They know this game has completely fallen out of their hands.
Especially with the massive shutdowns that was going across the Ruler. You can see him there, already a 4th item completed already, catching up and surpassing Stixay. And I mean, the win expectancy there, powered by AWS, looking pretty good.
And Licorice, he's strong, but he's not strong enough to get away from a JDG that's ready to collapse 3v1. Ruler being kept alive by missing. The stopwatch good enough to buy him a couple of more seconds so the rest of JDG can come in and help. He and the rest of the Golden Guardians are doing what they can, but they cannot measure up to Ruler and JDG. Stixay just melts, and Ruler makes it look simple. 4 dead on the side of the Golden Guardians, and JDG's got a 5-man push in the enemy base.
The LPL first seed refusing to let Golden Guardians have a game here as they will go collect the wave. It looks like once more they want to try and close this one out.
And I don't think there's a whole lot standing in their way. A 3-3 bye versus the entirety of China's #1 team. JDG will take the Nexus turrets out. The respawns happen now, but it's a little too little, a little too late. And the Golden Guardians are forced back into the fountain as JDG force their way to match point.
JDG taking a commanding lead in this series, really showing their class down the stretch. That team fighting was just incredible to behold. And Golden Guardians are getting ahead of themselves a couple times there, you know, using these go buttons sometimes to their kind of disadvantage, you know, feeling like, oh, we see someone, we've got to go, we've got to get these picks. But if the carries aren't there, if everyone isn't there immediately, you don't get that initial kill, and then all of a sudden, you've used all those resources, and JDG will always capitalize on that. They can just go wild.
And that's the thing, JDG were so patient and so good at spotting, you know, where are people on the map? Is there enough numbers to actually show up and punish us for this? And every single time,